And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Flatout Racing Network's coverage tonight as we continue on Season 6 of the Talladega Nights Shake and Bake Series. We are now approaching halfway through the regular season, an expedited 7-race regular season, and race 4 gets ready to go green here tonight. Getting ready for what should be an exciting one. We've got it really close. Drivers trying to keep themselves in the top 12 in points, trying to move themselves into the top 12 in points, and we have upwards of 30 plus drivers ready to take the green flag in this one here tonight. I'm Seth Cole alongside of Michael Norman, and Michael, as we get ready to put rubber to road here at Talladega Nights Super Speedway at the midway portion of the season, the must-win mentality has certainly gone out the window for drivers. That would have been in the early stages. Now certainly seems like we're turning our focus towards consistency. With that being said, as soon as the green flag drops, how anxious are you if you maybe qualified mid-pack, rear of the field to boogie your way up to the front?
Well, it's going to be all about trying to get yourself up, positioning yourself, staying out of trouble. Mid-pack is nothing to write home about. It's not really about where you start. It's about where you finish. But you got to put yourself in that proper positioning to have a shot at winning this race at the end. And we know a lot of these drivers out there know exactly how to do that, Seth. So it's going to be very interesting to see where certain people qualify and what they can do with the position they get.
Absolutely. Going to be an interesting one to observe here tonight. As mentioned, a big field, which means that there is going to be a lot of moving and shaking that will probably take place in the point standings as well. And coming into tonight, 12 drivers right now find themselves in the top 12 in the point standings, which would be playoff positions. We documented this in the previous 4 races. It is not a win and you're in playoff system. Yes, we've had 4 different drivers go to victory lane, but that does not mean that we're going to see them fight for a championship. They could run into a cold streak here in these final few races and find themselves outside looking in going into the regular season finale. We'll run down those 12 drivers coming in tonight right now, currently in the playoff spots. They would include former winner on the season, Denny Carroll. We saw him go to victory lane just last week. Rodney Selmans, who won the season opener. He is going to be second in points. He's currently 56 points out of the points lead. We need to remember this is the classic points system, so it's not a 1 point per position, which again plays a huge part into major leaps and falls through the standings.
I'm so used to this new generation that I forgot how it is with the old point system.
I kind of have too, to be perfectly honest with you. I can vaguely remember what the points payout is at the top of the finishing results, but not anywhere mid-pack to rear.
I want to say it was like 150 points or something like that.
185, I think, if you win winning the race.
185.
Then I think it would to what, something 175, like 170, 165, something like that. I don't remember how far down you got before it was 3-point increments and then 2-point increments. But I think it was like 5 points up near the top of the finishing.
Well, don't you still have score 4?
I do, but
you should be able to pull up a new tab and see what it looks like.
Yeah. I probably could, although I don't have any series when I use Score 4. I didn't have any series that actually used the old points format. But mentioned Carroll Sullins, Dennis McCarthy, he's third in points. Katie Huntsbury, he's had a good consistent regular season. He's fourth in points. Grant Wesley fifth. Chris Elliott sixth. Jeffrey Elliott, a former winner this season from a couple of weeks ago, he's seventh. John Godfrey, currently eighth. Ulysses Sandoval ninth. Stephen Brandstetter is 10th, and then Stephen Morrison and Craig Hagley. Right now, those are the drivers in the top 12 positions coming into tonight's race. Will those 12 remain intact at the conclusion of this 66 lapper? We'll find out here in just a moment, because we're getting ready to go green flag racing here. We're getting ready to jump up and introduce you to the drivers that'll take the green flag in tonight's 5th race of the season.
Channel switch.
And these are the drivers gearing up to roll off the grid tonight. Race number 5 of season 6 of the Talladega Nights Shake and Bake Series.
Starting first, Grant Wesley from Princeton, Indiana, at a 52.442 lap in the NOS Energy Drink Dodge Challenger.
Starting second with a 52.442 lap, driving the number 38 Black Rifle Coffee Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, Rodney Sullins from Bentonville, Arkansas.
Starting third from Agricola, Mississippi in the Jiff Chevrolet 00, Kelly Causey.
Starting fourth, the 55 Chevrolet Ken Roberts out of West Bend, Wisconsin.
Starting fifth out of Canaan Valley, West Virginia, Craig Hagley in 82 Ford Cypress Construction Mustang.
Starting sixth, 931, Robert Breedlove out of Lancaster, South Carolina.
Starting seventh, 889 National Guard Chevy Camaro RJ Cabana from Archville, Pennsylvania.
Starting eight, number 6, Brian Rawson, Heath, Texas, Valvoline Chevrolet Camaro. Good luck, guys.
Starting ninth in the 41 Chevelle from Big Stone Gap, Virginia. Good luck, everybody.
Starting 10th, driving number 56 Superman Ride Toyota All the Way Boys from Elon, North Carolina. Double deuce, start number 11, Greg Palmer. Good luck.
Starting 12th, the number 43, Bob Dixon from Macon, Georgia.
Starting lucky 13, 110, Terry Bombard, Mallow Cup Mustang from Willamette, Connecticut.
Starting in 14th, Stephen Brandstetter from Ranelette, Oklahoma, driving the 510 Ford Mustang.
Starting 15th in the number 3 GM Goodwrench Chevrolet from Mount Sterling, Kentucky, Gary Heiser.
Starting in 96th, the 16 of Ulysses Sandoval, sponsored by TSL Express. Good luck, everybody, and stay strong, 43.
Starting P17, driving the number 10 Adidas Chevrolet, it's Chris Van Vliet from Annapolis, Maryland.
Starting 18th, number 27, U.S. Army Throwback Cadillac, Bob Sire out of Freeland, Michigan.
Starting 19th, the 024 Sanguli Chevy, Dennis McCarthy from Long Island, New York.
Starting 20th is Chris Elliott out of Mooresville, North Carolina, driving the number 9 Blaze Doritos Dodge.
Starting blackjack, number 23, Doug Hewlick out of Plum, Pennsylvania, driving the Yeti Quist steroid-free car, Toyota Camry.
Starting double deuce, Garland Oaks from Martinsville, Virginia, driving the number 67 world-famous Dr. Pepper Toyota Camry.
Starting 23rd, the number 0 Pilot Chevy Camaro, Toby Robertson out of Findlay, Ohio.
Starting 24th, the number 60 Perry Bond, driving the Red Bull out of Virginia.
Blaine Donlin in the Great White Bites Chevrolet Volt and the number 72 from the 25th spot.
Starting 26th in the Yankee Chevrolet, the number 66 KD Huntsberry from Orrington, Maine. Good luck, gentlemen.
Starting 27th, Javier Negron from Bridgeport, Connecticut, driving the number 40 Toyota Camry Tide.
Starting number 29th, Brian Wolf, number 29, Float Studios, Dixie Rebel Chevrolet Camaro. Good luck, everybody, and God bless.
Rolling off from the outside of row 15, John Godfrey, 711 Schluter's Camaro.
Starting 31st, driving the 74 from Madison, Ohio, Robert Spring.
And that's the drivers that are going to take the green flag here tonight. Only a handful of races left in the regular season. Only a handful of races to make a push towards the playoffs or keep themselves above that cut line. Best of luck to everybody here tonight. Looking forward to a great show.
Love you, Seth.
I love you, Sid.
Hey now. Moved out of your channel. Channel switched.
All right, as drivers get themselves geared up here, they'll run this happy hour out and then get themselves prepared to take the green flag this evening. I don't know if he said it on purpose or if he had a little bit of dyslexia kick in, but I didn't know we had a 96 car field tonight because apparently Ulysses Sandoval said he was rolling off from P96.
Well, excuse me, that's our Ulysses. You know, that's how he is. It's definitely a cheeseburger.
I don't know why, but I feel like he planned it that way. I feel like he did that on purpose. I felt like there was a little smile behind the microphone.
Oh, you know there was.
Absolutely. Well, want to thank everybody that has joined us for our coverage here tonight. Had a lot of people chime in our chat even before we came on the air here tonight. David Shin there out of ASR. We're going to see him actually on track tomorrow night in what's going to be the official season opener, the brand new season
official.
there you go. The ASR Super Sundays is what they're calling it now. They're going to be getting their brand new season under the lights at tentatively Burnt Screwdrivers Raceway. I did get word from Brian Wolf this afternoon that there have been a little bit of issues with RLM Arena. They may be running a version of Talladega instead tomorrow night. Stay tuned. We'll obviously be doing some super speedway racing regardless of what track it is, and that'll be tomorrow night around 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also had some racers that are going to be taking the green flag here tonight chime into our chat, including Denny Carroll, who we saw go to victory lane last week, and Ulysses Sandoval, who we were just talking about moments ago. Also noticed a couple of new faces in the field here tonight that we haven't seen yet this season. You heard, of course, a very familiar voice in that number 72, Blaine Donlin, our colleague over at Tarnation TV. We obviously have the simulcast with him.
Tarnation.
Could you say that any more, Florida redneck?
Tarnation TV.
That's why Michael is a Cletus McFarland fan. Anyway, but you
Hell
heard,
yeah, brother.
you heard Blaine Donlin. He's going to be piloting the number 72 machine here tonight. And also, I kind of did a little double take when I ended up hearing the name Toby Roberson, I'm sorry, listed. Toby Roberson, listed off the grid here tonight. That kind of took me back. Toby was an old teammate of mine back in the FTF days, back when FTF actually existed here on Enter 2003. He, myself, Jessica Loralee, and Matt Watkins all drove for Incognito Motorsports. I think actually, if I recall correctly, I want to say Sonny Tallman and Dante Ricky, who we see on Thursday night's occasion. I believe they were also part of Incognito Motorsports. Either that or they were a satellite team affiliated with us, but that was a long, long time ago. What'd you say?
Full throttle fighting.
You know, some weeks it was. Some weeks it was. Let me tell you. So a little more than a minute left to go here before these drivers get ready to take the green flag.
What do you want to talk about?
Who are you, Cody Rhodes?
Maybe.
Let's talk about what we got coming up here on the schedule for next week. We mentioned about tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be bringing you the season opener of the brand new season of the ASR Super Sundays. Next time you guys will see us will be on Wednesday night, as we are very close to the end of the 66th season of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Aero 88 series. We're going super speedway racing at Texas World. Been a long time since I've seen racing at that particular venue, and we'll see
I
if
agree with you on that one.
that's a throwback, isn't
it? Get out of my head. I said it first.
So question for you. I'll get to the rest of the schedule here first, and then I have a question for you on that particular track. But we will be at Texas World Speedway. That'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday night. Then, I mentioned Blaine Donlin, Tarnation TV. Flatout Racing Network will be simulcasting playoff race number 3. We now know our round of 8 drivers, and they get ready for the second round of the playoffs for season 66 of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Talladega Challenge Series, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we're right back at you here 1 week from tonight, Saturday night. We will have the 6th, the next to last race of the regular season for Talladega Nights Shake and Bake Series. But going back, I want to double back to Texas World, Michael. I don't know if you remember the days. The version we're going to be running on Wednesday night is 2024. So obviously it's a much more updated version than what you and I used to run back in the day. Do you remember a version of Texas World where on the back straightaway, if somebody spun down to the inside, they actually would disappear and you didn't know if they were going to come back up the track or not?
I don't remember.
I remember. I'm trying to remember what series it was. I don't think it was FTF. It might have been Fast. It might have been Fast Racing League. And the version that it was at, there was a point where there was 2 or 3 cars that spun down to the inside on the back straightaway. And they hit the inside wall, but they disappeared. Nobody could see them. And then when they came back up, they reappeared and nobody had anywhere to go. It was like a jump scare moment in NR. So hopefully that is not going to be the case of the Texas World version that they'll be running on Wednesday night. But been some incredible racetracks that they've run in that Aero 88 series. Most recently, we were in the state of Vermont at Burlington Raceway. Some incredible road course racing there. Saw a great duel between Jeff Supta and Grant Wesley. Supta picking up his third victory in a row, and he will look to join Grant Wesley as a 4 straight wins driver in that series as he looks to close out the championship. Speaking of Grant Wesley, he's got the pole position here tonight alongside of Rodney Sullins. We've had 4 different winners this season. Rodney Sullins, Denny Carroll, Jessica Loreley, and Jeffrey Elliott have all gone to victory lane so far this season. What do you think, Michael? Big field here tonight. Obviously, we don't have to really talk about the caliber of the drivers in this field. It goes without saying. Do we go 5 for 5 in different winners, or is tonight the night after we've crossed the halfway threshold that a driver maybe becomes the first multi-time winner in Season 6?
Well, it's hard to tell. It just all depends on who's in the right place at the right time.
Start your engines.
And we've got the command to fire him up. Had some more people in our chat here. Good to see Al Sullins in our chat. Good to see you got your YouTube account back there, Al. We know you were over in the Tar Nation TV chat on Thursday night. Appreciate you hanging with us. Alex Moe, we normally see him on track here, but I believe work has kind of gotten in the way the last couple of times, so we haven't gotten to see that number 48 machine, the only driver of the 48 that we normally see move to the front of the field in a broadcast. Yes, I just buried Cody publicly on FRN.
Wow.
But he's in our chat as well, and Pumpkin said Vermont is Dave Moody area. I didn't know that Dave Moody was a Northeasterner, so there you go. Cody's not going to watch this back. He won't know I said that.
Again, is Cody even here?
No, Cody's not here.
That's what I'm saying.
But he always hangs in the back and then never makes his way to the front. At least Alex, when he kind of hangs at the back, he knows when it's time to go, and he's up there at the front at the end. So, as I said, he's the only one that drives a 48 that actually moves to the front at a super speedway.
Cody's just too afraid. You can't wait for him to chime in on that one.
Are llamas timid by nature? I feel like they're not.
I don't know.
I mean, I've heard that llamas, is it llamas or alpacas or both actually are better watchdogs than watchdogs for sheep. They will go after wolves.
Either way.
66 laps here tonight. Last couple of weeks, it's come down to long green flag runs and execution on pit road. Will the same be said here in this one as we draw one step closer to determining the 12 drivers that will battle it out for this season's playoffs? Dodge Challenger of Grant Wesley, the Chevrolet of Rodney Sullins. A couple more Chevys in row 2, highest blue oval in the 5th position. Then you gotta go all the way back to P10 to find the highest starting Toyota and former winner on the season, Jeffrey Elliott. Through the tri-oval they come at 70 miles per hour, and up through the gears they go as the green flag waves. Race number 5 is underway in the Shake and Bake Series.
Great run down the back straightaway here. TV2, my favorite camera.
I did that specifically for you, buddy.
It's kind of weird to see Grant in a NOS car. I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of weird seeing Grant in a Dodge. I know I've seen him run this car before, but I still can't get used to it.
Oh, I didn't even really, at the first notice, it was a Dodge. My mind immediately went to Chevy.
I know, right? So used to seeing him in a bow tie.
Speaking of Chevy, here comes that GIF. Oh, then he's going to block him. You know, I'm seeing a very impressively lack of Cletus McFarland fans in this series. I feel like I'm the
You're
only
the only one.
See, I feel like I'm the only Cletus McFarland fan in all of the entertainment.
I'm going to be honest. I have yet to see, outside of you, I've yet to see anybody in an online series run a Cletus car.
Such a shame.
I think you're the only one.
Dude is, I mean, you can't even back, like, he's not Johnny Knoxville and Jackass levels of stupid, but he's hilariously funny.
I'm telling you right now, Michael, go on Facebook, change your profile, no longer be known as Michael Norman, just be known as the Cletus McFarland Fan Club. You're the only one.
What am I, Tigger? Tigger's a wonderful thing.
By the way, Tigger's coming to Disney Speedstorm next season.
Oh, nice.
There's the useless piece of information everybody tuned into tonight to hear. Craig Hagley going to go to the race lead in the number 82. Of course, remember a couple of weeks ago, Craig Hagley ended up crossing the line P1 to pick up the checkered flag, but a last lap incident between himself and Ulysses Sandoval actually put him EOL, tail end of the lead lap. So he's looking to get that victory here tonight. Currently now stuck in the middle with Wesley up top, and here comes RJ Copacabana to the inside.
Copacabana?
I have the rights to use that because he used it before. Not to say that I didn't think about it.
Don't lie.
But when he said it, I absolutely thought, okay, there's the written permission, if you will.
Yep, I was going to say, as soon as you did it, it was time to do it.
Denny Carroll, last week's winner. Had him in our chat earlier. He said, got that win. Now we're just looking for a good run. Build the points lead. 56 points over his nearest competitor in Rodney Sullins. That Good Wrench Service Plus Dale Sr. throwback. The only Chevrolet Chevelle in the field. Been very consistent this season. A checkered flag to boot right now, holding down the second position. And right behind him, Terry Bombard. In that 110, Terry had a good run going last week, but he got a black flag on the final pit stop of the night. Looking to put the complete race together here this evening. A couple of other drivers coming off some of their best finishes of the season last week. Keep an eye out for the number 40 Tide ride of Javier Negron. Brought it home on the podium last week. Was actually leading the field out of the tri-oval, but Denny Carroll got to his outside, got drafting help, and was able to snipe the victory away in the last few hundred feet. And Stephen Morrison in the number 7 is not in the field here tonight. That's a big name because he had a podium finish last week, garnered enough points to move himself up into a playoff position. But with not being in the field here tonight, obviously he will fall below that cut line and will look to recover next week.
Man, I tell you, I hate getting sniped. It's usually me that does the sniping.
In what though? In Call of Duty?
Yep.
I actually never played Call of Duty.
Well, now I know what to make you play when you come back.
How good a sniper? So I know we did it last night. No, it was last night, and we did OG. How good of a sniper are you in Fortnite?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Not as good as I am in Call of Duty.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a video somewhere, I think. Maybe. No, I do. It's actually Black Ops 1. I have a video of me, I think, using just a sniper as an assault rifle.
What?
Which is, yeah.
What?
It's called quick scoping. You literally run around with a sniper, at least on MW2. The original one we did was an intervention. You run around and quick scoping where you would zoom in to the point right before the camera switches to the actual the reticle, and you shoot, and it kills them. So that it's called quick scoping, and if you're good at it with sleight of hand, because it makes you raise your gun faster, you could literally run around if you hit your shots right, and with the sniper rifle, using it as like an assault rifle.
That is nuts.
Think of it like you're using a single round burst rifle.
Like I know that there's like repeater snipers and stuff, but what you're talking about, that's a whole other level. By the way, good news for you, Michael. The fan club has doubled. Bob Sire says he's a fan of Cletus McFarland as well.
Woo! Yeah. Just get that love for Cletus. I mean, the dude's a nice guy too. I mean, he spent, as many hours as possible flying to and from, like Jamaica and everything when the hurricane hit. Bringing supplies and yeah, him and Biffle. He also did the same thing in North Carolina when the floods happened after that hurricane. So he's a nice guy. He really is. You know, he's exactly what NASCAR needs, in my opinion. I wish he would take it up full time, but I honestly don't think he'll ever give up making YouTube videos.
I mean, he's definitely got the personality, and we've definitely seen how Carson Hocevar's personality has definitely made waves, for better or worse, in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Got some drivers trying an inside line here. Grant Wesley, Ken Roberts jumped down there on the top 6 that were single file. Rodney going to jump down there in front of him as well. And now a couple of Toyotas going to jump up to the outside line. Doug Hulick, Ulysses Sandoval. They'll be 3 wide for around the 3rd, 4th position. As Hagley, Causey for the moment, maybe even RJ Cabana, currently clear of that 3 wide situation. Now Cabana goes to the inside with Carroll. They're going to make a run at the top 2.
Here just trying to make 3rd lane, not exactly. Ooh, careful out there. Someone just went to the trying to make a 4th lane back there. Couldn't quite tell who that was.
And they made a little contact back
I think
there, too.
It might have been Bob Sire a little bit. I think he might have just got up out of the groove a little bit. But you see a 3rd lane not quite performing here. I'm not sure if the very outside is as strong as like the middle lane here.
Ooh, they're slicing and dicing up here at the front. Rodney Sullins again with a move to the inside. He'll go for the top spot on Cabana. Former winner on the season is Rodney Sullins, looking to be the first 2-time winner here in Season 6. 3rd lane formed up there with Hagley, Causey, Jeffrey Elliott, Brian Rawson. 30 drivers took the green flag tonight, all 30 up in this lead pack, less than 2 second separation from Sullins back to Toby Roberson. Looks like the TeamSpeak having a slight connection issue there. I did hear you a little bit crackly, and I did notice about a trio of drivers fell from the TeamSpeak and have connected back in, so hopefully we get those.
Definitely a team thing.
Hopefully we get those technical gremlins out of the way. I haven't seen it translate over to the NR servers. That's at least good, because with this stacked up 3-wide race, and the last thing you want to see is a bunch of drivers warping side to side, because this has been good racing in these first opening 10, now make it 11 laps. You'd hate to see a massive wreck take these guys out in the early going.
Yep.
Looks like now we've got maybe about a dozen drivers, all single file here on the inside line. Still 3 wide around the 12th, 13th spot. Hulick, Sandoval in the middle. Hagley, Causey still up in that 3rd lane, but they have dropped back. This group up in that 3rd lane, they were up as high as battling for 7th place, and now they've fallen outside of the top 15, maybe even the top 20 currently. Just trying to find a place in line. See most drivers trying to migrate down to the inside of the racetrack. Big reason being, we've crossed over halfway through a fuel run. Now these drivers are getting themselves prepared for possible green flag pit stops in the next 6 to 7 laps. Talked about the top 12 in points coming into tonight. Something we did not document was a number of drivers just below 12th in the standings that with a good run this evening, maybe a victory, could find themselves up in one of those 12 playoff positions going into next week's race. Bob Sire, we mentioned him trying to make his way forward in the 27. Coming into this race, 13th in points. He is only 3 points below the cut line. Same for Bob Dixon, -3. Garland Oaks is only -6. Brian Wolf, -8. And Ken Roberts, who runs in second right now, -9 to the cut line. So a lot of drivers here this evening. Now, they don't even have to win. A top 5, a top 10 could maybe move them up enough positions that they could find themselves inside of the top 12 in the standings going into next week. And again, remember, next week will be 2 races remaining in the regular season. Not a whole lot of time to be able to put together 7 consistent races for a playoff spot.
Yep. You're going to have to do with what you can.
Oh, big wreck there in the middle of the pack in the tri-oval. Several drivers sliding across the start-finish line as caution's going to wave for the first time tonight.
I'm not sure if he was able to save it, but I think Jeffrey Elliott might have been a part of it. John Godfrey, see back, is that the 24 back there as well? Double zero.
Dennis McCarthy. Saw a lot of damage on Craig Hagley's number 82. I think a lot of these guys, they slid across the start-finish line when the caution came out, so they're all trying to figure out what position they need to be in. I also saw the number 40 of Javier Negron back there involved. He had just jumped up to the 3rd lane with Hewlick and Sandoval to try and move that lane forward, and I wonder if maybe that's where the incident started.
Very, very possible.
Let's jump back, take a look at a replay. First caution of the night. Not too far away from when these drivers would have had to make a green flag pit stop. Here's a look at it. Negron leading that 2nd lane, and ooh, he kind of came down on the 3 of Gary Heiser. And you had the wreck, and then the reaction wreck that wiped out about another half dozen drivers or so. Let's take a look from the helicopter cam here. As they make their way through the tri-oval, watch how the 40 kind of comes down a little bit here in the tri-oval. 3 comes up a little bit as well. Chris Elliott gets a bump from behind. I think that was by Dennis McCarthy, Hagley, Godfrey, Jeffrey Elliott, Kelly Causey, all getting pieces of this wreck. One driver that got through that, it looks like cleanly, was the 72 of Blaine Donlin. Let's watch on board with him. Just about everybody in front and to his side was collected up in this wreck. So he got a piece of it too right there in the right front. Pace car lightning speed off of pit road to try and pick up the race leaders. Let's focus the camera on the 9 of Chris Elliott. We saw the initial contact between the 40 and the 3. This was the follow-up wreck that involved some others. There you see it. Robert Spring was also involved in this wreck. Didn't add him to the list. Maybe a little bit of contact for the 43 of Bob Dixon, but I think he kept his car pointed in the right direction and was able to continue on.
But, you know, these cars are a little durable, so it'd be nice to see, you know, come down, make a little bit of repairs here, maybe a little off the pace with damage or whatever, you know, the arrowness, but you should be able to, behind the car, keep up some good speed there.
Yeah, the one thing about this mod is, at least with the damage model, you know if a driver sustained damage or not. It's not a mystery. There's a lot of other mods out there where you see them take a hit and they look like they're relatively clean. Then they go green and they're off the pace. And it's like, well, that car looked like it was going to be able to continue. No deception with this particular damage model. As you saw Robert Spring stay out, lead a lap. He was involved in that wreck. Dennis McCarthy is going to do the same, along with Bob Sire. I believe those 2 drivers will more than likely pit the next time by, and we should get the 1 to green signal next time by as well, which will put Grant Wesley out in front. Grant was 3rd when they took the caution, but remember, he had that number 1 pit stall for getting the pole position. Get a good launch from that pit stall and easily able to get Rodney Sullins for the top position on the upcoming restarts. So far, looks like everybody that's been involved in the wreck has come down pit road. They've made repairs. They've gone back out onto the racetrack. Nobody a lap down. Nobody out of the race at this point in time. Maybe some extended stays for a few drivers, but at this point in time, looks like all 30 drivers should be good to go for the upcoming restarts. Well, as we await the pace car to get us back under the green flag here, working our first caution of the night at Talladega Nights Super Speedway. We're going to jump aside for an FRN race break, and we'll be back here
Oh, we
when they
have
get ready
those?
to... We do indeed. And we'll be back here when they get ready to go back green flag racing. Should be somewhere close to the lap 20 mark as we continue the action here tonight in the Talladega Nights Shake and Bake Series. Lap 19 will go up on the board when we get ready to put these drivers back under the green flag here tonight. Working our first caution of the evening that involved about maybe a little under a dozen drivers. All drivers still on track, still on the lead lap. 30 drivers going to take the green flag here for the first restart of the evening. Front row looks the same as it did when we took the initial green flag. Wesley on the inside, Sullins on the outside. Ken Roberts and Terry Bombard, they'll be row 2 with Brian Wolf completing the top 5 alongside the points leader, Denny Carroll. Didn't look like a terrible lot of massive hits that are going to take drivers out of the race, but one will certainly have to wonder about aero damage sustained of those in that big wreck in the Tri-Oval. Once these drivers get up to full song, we'll know the full story of who still will be able to remain competitive. Saw the 43 of Bob Dixon moving up there to the outside. Looks like he's gonna
be all by himself.
Restarted in, I believe it was the 10th position. Looks like he might be moving up there to go to the back, kind of ride. Not sure exactly how much information we're able to divulge here on FRN, but certainly thoughts and prayers with Bob Dixon.
Yeah.
Heard Ulysses tonight on the grid saying 43 strong, and that's something that everybody in this field here tonight certainly is feeling. Heard some drivers in support of him this past Thursday night when we interviewed the podium finishers after the Talladega Challenge Series. Danny Carroll with a move down there to the bottom in front of Brian Wolf. Trying to get alongside of Terry Bombard. That'd be for the 4th position as Wesley Roberts Sullins for the moment, clear of the inside line. Here comes a 3rd lane up on the top. Another Dodge. Chris Elliott. Right behind him, Perry Bond in the number 60 Red Bull Chevrolet. Chris was one of the drivers involved in that first wreck. Looks like that car is none the worse for wear. Certainly can lead a line as they are charging forward.
Middle lane's got the power right now. You got a small inside lane and then a powerful 3rd lane on the outside trying to form up and get up there. Seth, I don't know. Where would you want to position yourself right now?
Right now, probably.
And don't say the lead.
Probably that 3rd lane, I would say. Last Sunday night, ran an exhibition race for ASR's Super Sundays. It was supposed to be the first points race of the season, but they were having some issues not getting the track to be able to load up. Tremendous credit to Jeffrey Elliott. He opened up his Enter 2003 server for the drivers to be able to race, and we ran at this racetrack and got the opportunity to... Or actually, I'm sorry, no, we didn't. We ran at Burt Screwdriver's Raceway, but we ran with the setup that they run here on Saturday nights. And that 3rd line, my goodness, you could get like 3-4 drivers up there and you motor to the front if the draft was tight. So that's why we're able to see drivers taking the longer way around the racetrack right up there against that wall still be able to make up a tremendous amount of ground. Blaine Donlin stuck there in the middle line. Middle line is usually the preferred lane here, if you have help. But when you're all by your lonesome like this, that's the proverbial sucker hole. He'll get a little draft from Brian Wolf, who'll jump down in front of him. Chris Van Vliet to his inside. That Adidas Chevrolet.
Podcaster?
No. So the funny thing about that is, when I initially saw his name, that's who I thought as well. And in that regard, I always would call him Chris Van Vliet. I ended up getting told that it's actually Vliet, like a fleet of ships, but with the V. So I've made it a point to get the name correct.
So many names you have to memorize. And I say you because I mean you, not me.
The toughest one is Michael Norman. I'm so used to his WWE 2K25 name, Michael Norton.
Oh, you just had to go and bring that up.
I did.
Listen, it is not my fault that that game does not have my last name, but it very clearly is a good last name / a really good first name too. So,
heck, it's the first name of a famous painter, or artist, or illustrator. I don't know what you want to call him. Greg Palmer trying to make a move here to the inside. I'm hearing an idling engine up ahead. I believe that's the 0 of Toby Roberson. Yeah. And that car does not sound good.
Tony.
Does he have no 4th gear?
Oh, that's not good.
He's in 3rd gear, and that car sounds like it's topping out.
Maybe he is.
Because he got caught really quick. We went back green, what, on lap 19? This is 6 laps in. He's already going a lap down. I know that obviously a single car is going to get swallowed up by a pack of cars that are in the draft. But I think it's like 10 to 12 laps it would take to reel in a single car like that. Our spectator cam, our information is not always 100% correct. But at least when we were on board there showing that 0, it showed him in third gear at 171 miles per hour top speed, while the field here in the draft is thundering around at between 190 to 195 miles per hour through the corners. So I think from what it sounded like, the hum, the high-pitched whine of that engine, it sounds like he does not have fourth gear for the rest of this race.
Surprised that most leagues don't have what we call it a Carter Friesen rule, which is when you lose fourth gear, you're obligated to pull it off the racetrack.
Got another one pulling off the racetrack. That's Craig Hagley in the 82. This is definitely an unscheduled pit stop for him, and not sure exactly why he is on pit road. It's like he's going to take fuel. Out of all the drivers involved in that opening wreck, he was the only one that I saw visibly that had sustained damage on the driver's side of his Dark Horse Mustang. The only thing is, though, I'm surprised that he's pulling into pit road, because it looked like that car was still able to stay up in the draft, and they've actually pushed him behind the wall. Hagley's going to finish 30th place here tonight. Checking to see where Craig came into tonight's point standings. He was the cut line driver. He was 12th in the standings coming into tonight, as we nearly just had a wreck at the front of the field.
And Seth's voice went up 7 octaves.
That 55 was sideways. He was headed for the passenger door of Denny Carroll after he got a little bump from Kelly Causey. That was a nerve-wracking moment up at the front of this pack.
That Thai Toyota barely hanging on to the edge of this pack, and I'm sure he's in the great spot right now with that one.
Just pull the Dale Jr., just come to a stop and wait for it all to sort itself out. Yeah, Javier Negron mentioned had that podium finish last week. He was another driver that was in the middle of that wreck. Contact between him and Gary Heiser that triggered the incident through the tri-oval. Looks like he's a bit off the pace. Jeffrey Elliott trying something there on the outside line with Ken Roberts. Jeffrey, the only Toyota driver to go to victory lane so far this season, though he fluctuates week to week. Saw him last week piloting a Chevrolet with the Wonder Bread sponsorship. Back in the Superman colors here tonight. And remember, it was a couple of weeks ago that we saw Jeffrey Elliott cross the line in second, but after the post-race penalty for Craig Hagley, he ended up inheriting the race victory. Jeffrey coming into tonight 7th in the point standings, 123 points out of the points lead, but maybe more importantly, 55 points ahead of the 12th in the standings cut line. Big pushes on that outside line. Tremendous surge of momentum right there as Denny Carroll will draw up alongside of RJ Cabana for the 4th position.
It takes a little bit to get that momentum on the outside, but once they come off the corner, you'll see it happen. You got us bumped. First and second place has got a bump, and then that third place car has got to give the second place car a bump at just the right moment.
And it's not always easy, too. Let's see if we can keep an eye on the 56 of Jeffrey Elliott here this next time through the corner, because literally to set up that momentum on the back straightaway, it starts right here in turn 1. So you'll see the 56. He's going to run about a half groove lower. Just, you can see him kind of peeking out there to the inside of the 41. He's not trying to make a move. What he's doing is making sure that he covers less ground than Denny Carroll, so by the time they come off at turn 2, he's already on his back bumper. Same deal for the 55, same deal for the 67. That way they can have that chain bump and move their line forward. There is a fine art through the entry of the corner all the way through to the exit that will determine how good a run you will have on the straightaway. Some other drivers have a different method as well, myself included, where you go into the corner a little bit higher than the driver in front of you and almost, in a sense, diamond the corner. You use the banking to your advantage through the center off, And that allows you to get the run to pull to the back bumper of the driver that you're pushing. A lot of people think in super speedway racing, you're just planting the pedal to the floor and turning left. No, sir. There is a lot more than that.
That's only 78% of what's happening.
Exactly. There is a lot of work going on in these race cars. Whoa, Brian Rawson! He is warping in the middle of the pack.
Oh, my Lord.
For a moment, we just had the 7,116 car.
Did you say 7,116?
Yes. He and John Godfrey were one for just a moment. Brian's been dealing with internet connection problems these last couple of weeks. Saw him this past Thursday night. He ended up falling out of the server, fell out of the TeamSpeak as well. Subsequently did not finish out that race and was one of 4 drivers that was eliminated from advancing into the round of 8 in the Talladega Challenge Series. And looks like those internet gremlins are back. He did manage to stay in the lead pack here, though, and fortunately did not warp into anybody to cause the second wreck of the night. That might have been the biggest thing that we avoided right there, because I think for just a brief moment there out of turn 4, he may have taken the place of the flagman down there that indicates whether pit road is open or closed.
Right? Just about. He probably said, hey, want to jump in?
Do you have an exit buddy?
Do you have an exit buddy?
So again, only one caution, but there is some fallout from that yellow. I mentioned about Craig Hagley out of the race. Javier Negron has lost the pack as we've got some drivers pitting here. Chris Elliott, Robert Spring, and Bob Dixon all coming to pit lane together. A Chevy, a Dodge, and a Toyota. This is a little sooner than they should be pitting, as Toby Roberson down in the apron now. And looks like he's going to call tow back to pit lane. He was last time scored 2 laps down, and we believe he has no 4th gear.
I'll have to wait and see.
I'm almost
again,
wondering
like
if that engine exploded, to be honest with you, right?
Are you talking about, did he? Is that...
I'm wondering.
It's possible. I mean,
running in 3rd gear for that long?
Yeah, your stuff's going to peg pretty quickly as we have pit stops happening here.
Denny Carroll, RJ Cabana, Robert Breedlove.
Ooh, for those that race the Tally Challenge and are used to a wider pit road now, I wonder how much more difficult it is to go back to the narrower pit road.
That's a good question. Gary Heiser, Blaine Donlin, and Perry Bond were involved in that group as well. Caution's actually out.
The caution
Not
is
sure
out.
for what?
Possible phantom?
Oh, Bob Sire's in trouble over here. I believe this is in the center of 1 and 2. And Ulysses Sandoval with a lot of damage on the front end of his Toyota.
Yeah, his hood was crunched in.
Grant Wesley going to bring them back around, and this is going to make Chris Elliott and company look like geniuses right now. This was a perfectly timed caution for them, as I believe at least Chris Elliott's going to remain on the lead lap, just barely ahead of the leaders right there. They'll all be pitting, and he'll be able to go around, get to the tail end of the lead lap, and then bypass all these drivers when they hit pit lane. Blaine Donlin, Robert Breedlove, Denny Carroll, they all got off pit road ahead of the leaders as well. Perry Bond, it would have been close for him. RJ Cabana, all these drivers, they should be able to cycle to the front of the field here now with the timing of this yellow. Maybe the 60 actually might have gotten trapped a lap down. It was going to be really close there at the start-finish line. Let's go back and take a look at what happened, because it was looking like we were getting ourselves set up for a round of green flag pit stops. A number of drivers had come to pit lane and saw the lights flashing around this facility. It's going to start with Ulysses Sandoval.
Was it some type of bumper grab?
Might
or?
very well have been. Let's see. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
right there. And then it kind of just, well, I mean, Bob had a little time to, he may have had a little time to decide where he wanted to go on that one, but
At over 190 miles per hour, I'm not so sure. Not that easy to turn the car on a dime. Let's take a look here once again as, yeah, right there. Ooh, that's a big hit into the outside wall. And then, yeah, Ulysses comes down. You see Bob moving up to try and avoid him. And Ulysses just there in the same lane. That's some big hits for both Sandoval and Sire. Head first into the outside wall for the 96. Front end for the 27. I would be very surprised if either of those drivers are going to be up to speed here for the remainder of this one. Bob Sire had kind of lost the draft there a little bit.
yeah, but I'm sure, especially like in Javier too, losing the draft probably wasn't the worst thing that happened to them now with this caution that came out.
So we've crossed the halfway threshold. Looks like a couple of drivers got black flags for speeding during the pit stop cycle. Gary Heiser saw him back on pit road. They're showing the 74 of Robert Spring with a black flag. I'm not sure if, now that we're under yellow, if that black flag is going to get cleared or not. The reason why I bring that up is because I believe Robert Spring would be the lucky dog along with Bob Dixon. So I don't know if having a black flag, if that makes you ineligible for a free pass position or not. If that is the case, I believe Perry Bond would then be the second driver one lap down, but we'll obviously wait and see what administration chooses here, and we'll obviously know when we line up to go back green who indeed got the free pass spots and who didn't. Brian Rawson staying out to lead an extra lap here. And he'll make the dive onto pit lane. This should turn the race lead over, I believe, to the 889 of RJ Cabana, who was a part of that group that came to pit lane, that half dozen drivers. The Copacabana.
That's going to be his nickname for me now.
You don't give nicknames to drivers at all.
What are you talking about? The lie, and you know it.
No Randy Waluigi's or Mike, I'm having a party, or nothing like that.
I'm having a party.
What's the other one that always takes me by surprise that you have?
Jeff Crovello DeVille.
That's the one. Yep. Doesn't look like we can make it the rest of the way on fuel. There's at least one more pit stop between now and the end of the race. If we went the full distance you can go on what's in the tank, we're looking at that final pit stop being somewhere just past 10 laps to go. So you talk about a money stop. Could very well be the case here. This is the second caution we've had come out just around when these drivers were going to have to think about making a trip to pit road. We ended up having our first caution come out about 4 laps prior to green flag pit stops. We were beginning the cycle here before the second caution came out. We'll see if that final pit stop is going to have to be done under green, or will they catch another timely yellow to make it under caution. Of course, as well, we could end up having the caution come out within the window to be able to make it the rest of the way, which would be somewhere around the lap 47-48 mark.
That's roughly around the end there, so we'll be getting very close.
So whatever the issue was for Toby Roberson that we saw on the apron over there, I believe it was in 1 and 2. Looks like they've sent him back out. He is 3 laps down to the leaders right now, as Bob Dixon's going to head to pit road. Roberson looks like he's going to take the wave around here, which he will do when the lights go out on the pace car. If Dixon's in line for a lucky dog, I'm surprised he's pitting this late into the caution period, because I think the lights are going to go out this time. He's going to have to motor his way around before they get around to the green flag here. Robert Spring is going to go up on that outside line, so he's actually going to get the free pass. So apparently getting the black flag under green with the yellow flag coming out kind of waived that, and he is going to be one of the 2 free pass cars. I believe Dixon is going to be the other. So that will have us with a total of 27 drivers on the lead lap. Perry Bond, Toby Roberson will be the only 2 drivers off the lead lap and out of the race. Craig Hagley, and we can also add to that list Ulysses Sandoval. Saw that massive amount of front end damage that he had. He is out of the race. He'll get credited for 29th place here tonight. Ulysses, another driver who came into this evening up in the top 12 in points. He was a total of 44 points ahead of the cut line.
Boy, am I glad that you're here to do the math.
Well, don't be glad, because I could be wrong. But I believe it's 44 points ahead of the cut line coming into tonight, 9th in the standings. So that's 2 drivers behind the wall that came into tonight, highlighted in green in the top 12 in points, could find themselves on the outside looking in next week with 2 races remaining in the regular season. Again, a reminder to everybody, it's a doubleheader weekend here for FRN.
It is.
Back at it with you tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, for the first points-paying race of the brand new season of the ASR Super Sundays. Brian Rawson going to be going into that series as the defending champion, as RJ Cabana elects the outside line here as the control car. Denny Carroll will line up to his inside, then Robert Breedlove, Blaine Donlin, and Grant Wesley, who's led the most laps so far tonight, 22 laps.
I was wondering how our broadcast colleague was doing up there. Nice to see him up in 4th. Let's see what can happen. Maybe choosing the outside line wasn't the greatest. I mean, it looked like he switched right into 3rd gear and just didn't get a good momentum there.
Let's see what happens once they get onto the back straightaway. That's one of the tough things, right? Because you know that middle line is going to get the surge when you exit out of turn 2. But usually we see drivers elect the inside line on restarts because it's the shorter way around the racetrack. Everybody's equally getting up to speed, so if you can get the advantage, clear the traffic, then you can move up to that middle line when you exit off the 2nd corner. That was quite a corner there out of turn 4 for Denny Carroll. Kind of clipped the apron there as he cut down in front of Grant Wesley. Kept his momentum up, though. See, a lot of times drivers get a little bit squirrely if that left rear tire gets down on the yellow paint line.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Saw back there Garland Oaks, that Dr. Pepper number 67 Toyota, moving to the inside line. Mentioned about how last week was the exhibition race, the fun race for ASR last Sunday night. Garland Oaks picking up that victory and proving you don't need 3rd gear to win a super speedway race. 4th gear, yes. 3rd gear, no.
Well, you know, I guess if you get good momentum.
Then again, I can't say that you need 4th gear to win a race too. Like, what if everybody else blows up or wrecks and you're the last one out there? You could conceivably lose 4th gear and still win the race then.
Right?
The likelihood of that happening is
it's like 1%,
very slim.
not even.
And watch that happen in one of our upcoming races this week.
Oh, I believe it could.
And back there towards the rear of the field, we saw Javier Negron lose the draft on that last run. He's still up here with the pack. And Bob Sire, that number 27 Cadillac, looked like it's still up to speed as well, despite the damage he got from the second caution. Zero Toby Roberson's up here in this pack as well, and now our telemetry is showing him in fourth gear, so maybe he was
Can
running
we trust our telemetry?
No, I don't think we can, but I think you have to be in fourth gear if you're up in the pack, though. There's
that's
no way
true.
he's running
Yeah.
199
Not even the draft
in third
could keep you
gear.
that way. Yeah, so not even the draft could keep you up in third gear.
Not a chance. So not sure exactly. Only thing I could think of is maybe he was running third gear as a single car. Maybe you run a faster lap time by yourself in third gear. Use fourth gear as a draft gear, I'm not sure. But whatever issues he was having.
Commentator's room. Mr. Seth, I'll be right back.
Okay, whatever issues he was having, obviously he has sorted it out, and he is up here in this lead group. Granted, multiple laps down, but doesn't mean he can't help push somebody to the lead, as we had it really squirrely up here at the front there. Grant Wesley, Ken Roberts, and they tried to take advantage of that little bit of lift. Jeffrey Elliott, Kelly Causey, and Rodney Sullins all jumping up to that middle line. Oh, Grant's going to get caught out, but as soon as he moves up to block Ken Roberts, Breedlove and Cabana jump down to the inside line. And Roberts, who is making a move for the lead, now going to find himself back side by side with Cabana for third place. So big block works there for Grant Wesley. Looked like he was going to get freight trained in that outside line. But he'll continue to lead. That is now his 23rd lap led here tonight. And he's getting very close here in the next couple of laps of locking up most laps led this evening. Grant coming into this race 5th in overall points, 113 points out of the points lead. Looking to be the 5th different driver to go to victory lane this season. So far, 3 Chevrolets, 1 Toyota have picked up checkered flags. Grant trying to be the first Dodge, but Robert Breedlove with a big push on the outside line. He's going to clear that inside, and he's going to lead, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, that's his first lap led of the night.
First lap led of the night, and I just found out too that Ohio State's winning 41-7.
So you're saying there's a chance they choke?
Well, I didn't see what quarter it was.
We know Robert Spring will be very happy about that score as well. We've seen him on Thursday nights running the Ohio State Buckeyes Toyota. Speaking of Robert Spring, check in on him and Bob Dixon after they both got the free passes under that caution. Spring currently scored in the 24th position. Dixon currently in, I'm sorry, 21st rather for Robert Spring, 24th for Bob Dixon. All in this lead pack right now. Perry Bond would be the next driver in line for a lucky dog to get him on the lead lap. He's the only driver 1 lap down. Toby Roberson 3 down. He could get one of those laps back should we see a yellow. Ken Roberts, we saw him make a move to the top on Grant Wesley. It didn't work. This time he'll move to the bottom on Robert Breedlove and look to move to the point. Getting some help from 56 of Jeffrey Elliott. Ken Roberts, a total of, again, trying to do the quick math in my head. Looks like 19 points. No, correction, 9 points below the cut line. No, I can't. 9 points below the cut line is Ken Roberts coming into tonight. 17th overall. No doubt a victory would probably move him up into the top 12 in the standings. And while I don't expect it until about maybe another 6-7 laps from now, we are in the window to make it the rest of the way should drivers want to come to pit road. But I think we're more than likely going to see drivers pit around 10 laps to go. I think we had them projected needing to pit with around 7-8 laps remaining. So you're guaranteed going to have to put a can of fuel in. So by the time we get to lap 56, lap 57, you should be able to make it the rest of the way on a can. We may see drivers on pit road as soon as that. Ulysses Sandoval may be out of the race tonight, but he holds the fastest lap of the evening so far. 47.637. Whoa!
Jeffrey Elliott turned it down to the inside. Oh,
that was tight.
He tried, and he had the 88 right behind him to push. That could have taken out this entire front pack.
I thought the 88 was going to turn him. I thought he was going to turn the 55. Fortunately, all fenders are on, and we're still pointing in the right direction, still green. That lap time by Ulysses equaling 200.826 miles per hour. And
Ulysses is still in this pack?
No, he's out of the race.
So why'd you say Ulysses?
Because he has the fastest lap.
Oh, I thought you were still talking about him on the racetrack.
No, the move we saw there amongst the top three kind of cut off my sentence, and I just finished it. But this is interesting. We're seeing this slicing and dicing going on here at the front of the field. This is the portion that drivers call the setup to the pit stops.
Sorry, he got on the apron. He turned it. He was almost all the tires on the apron, and I knew he was gonna drift up because of that. God, that could have been so disastrous. Garland Oak's going to go up to the lead, start leading that third lane up there. Jeffrey better hurry up and clear the inside, because once that middle lane or the third lane gets there, that's going to take that middle lane away.
Yeah, that 27. We talk about.
Or do we see him drift up to that third lane? That almost looks like that's what they're going to try to do here.
Yeah, they're thinking about it.
He'd have to do it now.
Yeah, Bob Sire, we saw him have that hit into Ulysses Sandoval. I was kind of questioning if that car might have some aero damage, but he was actually leading that third line up here to the front before Garland jumped in front of him. So that car is definitely still competitive, still capable of winning this race.
Can the third lane equal, or are they going to stall out right there, Seth? Sometimes we'll see them stall out, and then the bottom lane gets the good run like we're seeing here. It's just all about who can push, right?
And how long does this last, too, right? Like, we're about, 3-4 laps away from when they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. We're about 5 laps away from when they're probably absolutely going to just blew up. That's Terry Bombard.
Oh, no, if he doesn't hold the clutch, that's going to bring out a yellow.
Spinning.
Oh, but he's holding on to it. He held on to it, but it's a caution out.
No, we're still green. We are still green.
Oh, if he stays on the grass, maybe they won't throw a yellow.
I don't think staying on the grass is going to do it. I've seen drivers down in the grass, down against the inside wall towards pit lane.
What he just needs to do now is stop and park.
Yep.
He needs to stop and teleport. He's still under power set, so maybe that's not an engine. Look, he's accelerating.
I don't know what else it could be.
Maybe that's why the caution isn't out yet.
He is still rolling. Now, normally, though, when we end up having a caution come out, it's for debris.
That could be one of those issue things where it's like it's fixable, but he's still going to be severely under power.
He's just now making his way through 3 and 4. We are still green. You see the lights are still green around the racetrack here.
Now look at everyone sliced to the inside.
Yep, here it is. We've hit that window, right? So we were double wide, 3 wide for a moment, but they knew it wasn't going to last because we're now getting into that window where they're going to absolutely have to come to pit road in about the next 3 laps, I would say. Terry's going to make it to pit road. And to your point, since that car was still able to run, it may be fixable, but I'm pretty sure he just pulled into a stall towards the entrance of pit lane that is not his, so he may actually be done for the night. We'll double check on that. It does not show the 110 officially out of the race at this point in time. And there it is. There's the confirmation. Engine camshaft. is the reason for the retirement there. But first off, credit to him being able to get it down to the apron. They were going into turn 1 at the time to be able to get out of the way of everybody. Nearly lost the thing, hung onto it down on the apron, and then credit to everybody else for being able to get around him. I mean, that could have very easily been something that could have brought out a yellow flag, caused a massive wreck. Ooh, we're banging doors back here between Steve Brandstetter and Katie Huntsbury. We have Gary Heiser going. Oh, well, I thought he was going faster than the others, and that's because he was going 55. Some of the others were going about 48, 49. Grant Wesley in from the lead. Robert Breedlove, points leader Denny Carroll, and a bunch of others on pit road. This is the money stop. You can make it from here.
What's going to happen at Black Flag now will just be absolutely devastating.
It's a race ender.
Oh, Garland! Ooh, okay.
Wow.
Did you see how sideways he got?
Oh, and he's going to go out in the grass.
All right, he made the commitment cone. No. Okay.
Question is, can he get to his stall? They're like double wide, 3 wide there with him. Looks like he's going to be able to.
If he doesn't get any type of penalty for it, I think he'll be okay.
Bunch of drivers on pit road there.
And that was just him not being able to kind of point his car to pit road without it spinning. Remember, we've done that before, trying the hot pit, where if your car is not pointed to pit road, then you're gonna have a tough time.
4 drivers staying out here: Jeffrey Elliott, Chris Elliott, Bob Sire, Brian Rawson. We'll see them pit this time around, and this should complete the cycle.
Yeah, Jeffrey Elliott just kind of dives his car to look at pit road. Oh, the 9. Ooh, I don't know.
It's about the same way.
That's got to be close.
That's about the same way that he pit the last time, just prior to the caution. I think he'll be good. It looked just about the same. This is unofficially where the lead would cycle around to. Greg Palmer in the 22. You see Grant Wesley leading a line there in the middle groove. This will be eventually the battle for the race lead between the 22 and the 88, and the momentum is definitely up on that top side. Greg tried to move up to block that run and nearly got himself split 3 wide. So far, I've been keeping an eye on the scoring. Nobody has fallen under the wrath of the speeding police. Everybody so far clear and good to go on that money stop. And this battle at the front is for the top position. Palmer, Wesley side by side, Ken Roberts and RJ Cabana, the respective pushers for their lines. Rodney Sullins up here, trying to be a 2-time winner on the season. Denny Carroll, he said he was looking for points tonight. He's getting them solidly in the top 10. John Godfrey, Robert Breedlove, Kelly Causey, Doug Hewlick, Dennis McCarthy, all up here in this lead pack right now. A couple of stragglers trying to catch a whiff of draft, including Chris Elliott, Brian Rawson, and Jeffrey Elliott. Is there damage on the 00? There is.
Yeah, side damage. Maybe he hit a wall or something.
Hit a wall, maybe had some contact on pit road. And we're going to go 3 wide. Dennis McCarthy moving up there to the outside line. Chris Elliott's been able to reel in this group along with Rawson. Looks like Jeffrey Elliott's going to as well. So that's going to have us with a total of 14 drivers in this pack, all in the hunt for the victory. Only 2 of them in this pack. No, correction, 3 of them in this pack are former winners on the season: Sullins, Carroll, and Elliott. And this next time by, I believe as well, we do have some lap machines. We are going to be in that segment of the race we dubbed the point of no return, where the next flag will end the race. Tough first night this season for the Zero Pilot Chevrolet of Toby Roberson. He's out of the race. Mechanical problem for him, engine gearbox. He'll get credited for 27th.
We're gonna see what we can do. This is it right here. This is the main pack. How many cars are in this pack? Looks to be about 12.
Scoring said 14 lead lap drivers.
Well, you know what? I can't do math.
Who can?
I thought it was 6 and 6, but nope, it's 7 and 7. All right, Seth, who you got? You obviously know my choice is going to be the guy in first.
Man, I don't know.
Caution right now. I don't think we get it restarted.
No, we don't. We're in the point of no return.
They're starting to get single file.
Garland Oaks up ahead in the 67. We saw him having that issue coming to pit road. Gary Heiser just a little bit further up the straightaway. They'll probably catch the 67 before the end of this race. I'm not sure about the 3. It's a couple of drivers right there too, in Oaks and Heiser, who came into this race below the 12th in the standings cut line, but certainly mathematically in the hunt with a good run tonight to jump up into the top 12. Right now, last 2 cars in the lead lap in 24th and 25th. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case this week. Comes an outside line. It's RJ Cabana leading the charge. Robert Breedlove there as well. A couple triple-digit numbers, nose to tail. The Toyota of Doug Hulick. The Chevy of Brian Rawson trying to offer some assistance.
Oh, did Garland Oaks end up having a penalty? I think so, because he's all by himself.
Either he had a 30-second penalty or a very, very slow pit stop. I'm not sure which.
It has to be 30 seconds. Because he was in there with a lot of good people.
But
Unless
he made
just
the
took more
commitment
tires.
cone, which...
Unless he took tires and the rest of them didn't.
No, maybe.
Man, RJ Cabana is trying, but I can't tell if it's just his connection or what, but he is side by side pretty good. Somebody else coming down pit road.
It was Jeffrey Elliott.
Maybe he had a black.
Our scoring shows nothing, but he is on pit lane, and that has all the signs of a driver having to pit for a black flag, staying out the longest he possibly could, hoping for a yellow to save him, but not going to get it. That's a tough break there for a former winner on the season who came into this race 7th in the standings. He was last time across the start finish line in the 12th position.
Oh, man, they're blocking like crazy up here.
They will catch the 3 of Gary Heiser. They'll put him a lap down, and this time by, it's going to be the white flag!
Oh, boy. And that's going to suck for Greg, because now with him getting put out that far, nobody went with him. Or could go, I should say nobody could have gone with him.
Grant Wesley trying to make that bumper as wide as possible. Here comes a run to the top. RJ Cabana, Robert Breedlove.
It's so unorganized right now that even the simple, all he's got to do is get up there and block, which is exactly what he's doing.
But he left the bottom open.
Yeah, but he went down, but still there's not a lot of room down there.
Ken Roberts going to get a push from Doug Hulick. Grant's clear again.
This is why they call him the Pied Piper, or at least I do. I don't know about other people, but I do. He's got to make one final run off this corner.
Ken Roberts going to jump up to the outside
he got
line.
Up to the outside. Can he keep him? Can he keep it blocked? He's got the momentum. Help? Momentum's on the inside right now.
Here comes RJ Cabana. It's going to be a big push here as they cross the start-finish line. That's going to be Grant Wesley picking up the victory. Some major defensive blocks there. And he'll pick up his first win of the season. We go 5 for 5 in different race winners here in Season 6.
I was going to say all legal, nobody wrecked.
First time Dodge is going to go to victory lane this season. And Grant Wesley, who came into tonight 5th in the point standings, looking to solidify himself a spot in the postseason. This will be max points tonight for driver 88 as he led a race-high 31 laps He was about 113 points out of the points lead. I don't think you can make up that amount of ground in one race. Denny Carroll, the points leader, finished in 11th, but this will certainly keep Grant up inside of the top 5. He might have been within striking distance of moving into the top 3. Katie Hunsbury, Dennis McCarthy might be able to leapfrog those guys, but we'll have to obviously wait and see as the celebration begins here at the start-finish line for driver number 88. Ken Roberts going to bring it home in second, Doug Hulick in third. So representation for 3 different manufacturers inside the podium in tonight's 5th race of the season.
I gotta tell you, this is why I call him the Pied Piper. He drives. It's an 88 that almost looks like the Thor Sport sign, but I swear he drives like another driver in that 88 car, or who used to drive an 88 car.
Well, he didn't drive an 88, but he almost kind of reminds me of Ryan Newman as well, at least on a super speedway. He seems to be one of the hardest guys to pass. He knows
sure?
when to
Because
block
if he
and where to block.
Hold on, if he reminded you of Ryan Newman at a super speedway, he would have been flipping upside down.
I didn't say Ryan Addis. I didn't say Ryan Newman himself at a super speedway. I mean in terms of what the reputation Ryan Newman had, where he was one of the toughest cars to pass.
Yeah, but I mean Ryan Newman's reputation at super speedways
Not
is
so
flipping. It's flipping, so.
Grant's flipped a few times, so it all checks out. We'll be talking to him as well as Ken Roberts and Doug Hulick here in just a few moments as they claim the podium spots here tonight. Greg Palmer's going to bring it home in 4th. RJ Cabana was 5th. John Godfrey 6th. Rodney Sullivan's in 7th. Robert Breedlove brings home 8th. Brian Ross in 9th. And Dennis McCarthy is going to complete the top 10. Denny Carroll, he should keep the points lead going into the next week with 2 races remaining. He finishes 11th. Chris Elliott was 12th. Kelly Causey will finish in 13th. Last car in that lead pack. Blaine Donlin brings it home in 14th with Brian Wolf 15th. Chris Van Vliet was 16th. Robert Spring, Bob Dixon, Stephen Brandstetter, and Katie Hunsbury. Your top 20. Your top 22 finished on the lead lap with Javier Negron and Bob Sire. 1 lap down, Gary Heiser. Same for Garland Oaks and Perry Bond. Jeffrey Elliott 3 laps down in 26th, and then a total of 4 drivers did not reach the conclusion of the race. Mechanical failures for both Toby Roberson and Terry Bombard. Ulysses Sandoval and Craig Hagley out of the race due to crash damage. It will be interesting to see, based off the finishing results of a number of drivers just above and just below the 12th in the standings cut line, what the point standings are going to look like heading into next week with 2 races remaining. But that now takes us into our FRN post-race wind down, and let's dial up our podium finishers on the night. First off, let's see if we can get a hold of the highest finishing Toyota here this evening. See if we can dial up Doug Hulick.
User was moved to your
Hey
channel.
Doug, it's Michael and Seth up here in the FRN booth. You got a copy?
What's up, gentlemen? How you guys been?
Man, I'll
Enjoy
tell
the
you
race?
what, doing great. Got treated to a really enjoyable race, an exciting finish. A lot of slicing and dicing going up there in that lead pack. We saw a double wide, 3 wide there, a lot of checking up, a lot of runs being generated. You were right in the thick of it there. Did you see any path to maybe get around those guys with all the blocking that was going on there at the front, or were you just kind of comfortable where you were?
Probably going maybe the last lap, I was like, okay, 5th. And I was thinking, I can get 3rd. I'm going to get interviewed. Woo, the highlight of the night. Yeah. And it just kind of like everybody seemed to go up, and I went low. I ended up behind Grant, kind of tried to push him through. I thought I could get 2nd. I thought he might stay a little higher. I would probably dove under him, but dicing and slicing, yeah, there's a bunch of meat laying all over the place out there.
You guys ended up having a couple of interestingly timed cautions tonight, just on the eve of when you were going to have to make green flag pit stops. Then you guys have to make a green flag pit stop, and it's the money stop here tonight. We obviously saw some different packs come to pit road. Didn't really see a massive pack in the closing stages of this race, but obviously there's a lot of repetition in Super Speedway series, as well as obviously running weekly series, but when you end up having where that money stop is the only green flag pit stop of the night, does that add any bit of pressure to a driver?
It's always kind of you got to wonder how many people are going to come in with you, and in the large pack, the small pack. And it was funny because when they do the sprint races, I went out and I was kind of like, oh, they're doing a sprint race. So I thought, I just won. I came out and I just hot pitted lap after lap after lap, and just really just tried to practice, coming in smooth, getting around that corner without sliding it too much, and it paid off. A little bit of practice there, and I really pulled that pit off really well, and I was happy.
Started this race, the latter half of the field rolled off the grid from the 21st position. We saw a lot of aggressive racing in the beginning stages of this race as well, 3 wide early on in the going. Obviously, we saw as well you're able to sneak your way through a couple of that opening wreck that we saw there back around lap 11. Talk to me about starting in the mid-pack to rear of the field of this type of a racetrack with this big of a field. How easy is it to formulate a game plan right out of the get-go, or is a lot of it a kind of play-by-ear just based off the circumstances around you?
Well, we all have people that help us a little bit out there, and I was running with Javier and
Did we lose Doug? Doug, you still there?
I'm still here. You there?
Yep.
So I was running with Javier, my teammate, and he was kind of directing me the opening down there, and it was big enough for both of us to get in. I missed one turn up to take the lead. I would have gone on the lead pack in the middle lane, and I missed that. And I got caught in this middle a couple times, went back, which is really frustrating because you're running, top 8, and next thing you know, you're 20th. So, they're slicing, dicing, and it was a fun race. This is my first time coming out to Jeff Land here, and it was a good night.
Well, a great run in your first race of the season for sure, bringing it home solidly on the podium in the 3rd position. Congratulations on a job well done here tonight, Doug. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for thank you, sponsors, and shoutouts.
I appreciate Jeff throwing this. Everyone who runs a league, there's a lot of work involved with it. Graham's out there with Prime Time, and Keith, my brother Ray, runs Burner. I'm RTG. They're the largy one at this time. Hope this thing stays together. I wonder in the future what will happen, but God's got some gift for us all, and we will figure this out one way or another. Thank the wife for putting up with me. Thank my cardiologist, who I'll see Tuesday. Maybe he can make things better. And my son up in North Dakota, daughter out in up near Buffalo, New York, and all my friends and family, and you guys. Appreciate what you do every day, and God bless you.
We appreciate that, Doug. Congratulations on a great run here tonight, and hopefully we see you next week. Try and follow up this finish here tonight. Maybe get 2 spots better. Maybe we're talking in victory lane next week.
Ooh, yeah. All right, gentlemen. Later.
Doug Hewlick bringing it home solidly P3 here tonight. Got a front row seat of that side-by-side to the stripe coming to the checkered flag that scoring says was 57 one-thousandths of a second between Grant Wesley and this driver. Let's dial up Ken Roberts.
User was moved to
hey,
your
Ken,
channel.
the guys up here in the FRM booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Man, I'll tell you what, as soon as we saw that the white flag was in the air, we knew all bets were off. And we saw a lot of moving and shaking, a lot of slicing and dicing going on from turn 1 all the way back to the start-finish line. You were able out of 4 to get to Grant's right rear. I'm sure you've kind of gone back, replayed it a little bit. What little more did you need to be able to have the surge get your splitter to the start-finish line first? You guys were thundering out of the tri-oval.
Yeah, I just didn't have enough momentum. I mean, really, you got to build that momentum coming down the back straightaway, and through 3 and 4, I just, we basically running the same speed, and out of 4, I jumped outside of him, hoping somebody go with me or whatever. But yeah, I just didn't have enough. But it was a fun race. I mean, Greg and Grant got together a little bit. They kind of got separated, and Greg went up high, and I was too close to Greg to get back behind him, so I tucked under him, and it was kind of all bets were off at that point.
Coming into tonight, we documented yourself and a number of other drivers below that 12th in the standings cut line. Now, obviously, this isn't a win and you're in series, but that's not going to deter any driver once they take the green to want to be that first one back and capture the checkered flag. But with the podium finish here tonight, mathematically, I believe you're going to jump up above that 12th in the standings cut line. Obviously a little bit of a slow start here in the regular season, but now picking it up, it seems like at the right time down the home stretch.
Yeah, I missed last week. I was sick and couldn't make it, and I knew that was going to hurt me. But I was just hoping tonight to get a top 5 and get some laps in and slowly build up there. But good finish tonight. I'll take a second to Grant anytime.
Well, some good points for sure. Should have you well above the 12th in the standings cut line going into next week with 2 races remaining. Congratulations on a great run here tonight, Ken. As you said, led some laps this evening as well. Before we let you go, floor is yours for thank you, sponsors, and shoutouts.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate Grant on the win. He definitely earned it. I'd like to thank my teammates, all the guys, they helping with the pits and pit strategies and stuff. Worked out pretty good tonight. Rodney Solins for painting all my cars. He does an awesome job. And thank Jeff and Chris Elliott. Bringing Talladega nights back. It's been a lot of fun so far. I'm still working out a little bit of the kinks, but we're getting there. And thank you guys for doing the broadcasting, man. Can't wait to go back and watch this one, especially the last 10 laps.
Well, it was a wild finish for sure. Congratulations on a great run here tonight, Ken, picking up second place and moving up into, I believe, mathematically a playoff position with a couple of weeks left in the regular season. Best of luck next week as we continue down the home stretch.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Let's see if we can now go down to Victory Lane, dial up our 5th different winner on the season. Let's get a hold of Grant Wesley.
User was moved to your
Hey, Grant, it's Michael and Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got a copy?
I do.
I'll tell you what.
Pied Piper of this specific racetrack and super speedways.
I'm just saying right now, you probably are going to hope that this car doesn't get sent back to R&D because the back bumper might be a little past regulation standards. But I'll tell you what, you were using it to perfection in the closing stages of this race. We always talk about when it comes down to the final lap of a race to win, timing, and location. But that's normally when we're talking about the driver that's trying to pass for the win. It also applies to the driver that's trying to defend the position, and you were able to throw, I believe I counted 3 or 4 perfectly timed blocks in that final lap. Talk to me about that. How stressful is that when you've got, it looked like 2, 3 different lines barreling on your back door?
Oh, I wore out every quarter panel on this dang car. Especially the last 4 or 5 laps. We pitted with I don't know, it was like 7 or 8 to go, I think, because I took 1 can, and I was hooked up with RJ and Breedlove and a few other guys, and the strategy worked out great. We were up front with Ken and all the BSR guys, and once I was able to get out front, I definitely wanted to be on the bottom lane. These guys love to go 3 wide here on Saturdays, and I was watching Palmer like a hawk there the last 4 laps. I mean, every move he made, I made. I definitely had my eyes more in the mirror. It was a shame. Yeah, with 2 to go, I think he made that move outside of me, and I gave a block on it, and I kind of bumper hooked him. I apologize for that. But yeah, man, it was fun. It was tight racing, no wrecks. Yeah, good racing.
He came into tonight 5th in the point standing, so well above the cut line, the 12th in the standings cut line. You become the 5th different driver to go to victory lane here this season as well. Now, obviously, we don't have the updated points, but certainly you'll be inside the top 5 in points, maybe even the top 3 in points by the time we get to next week. 2 races left here in the regular season, so you're looking really good to point your way in. We know it's not a winning you're in system, but what can a win here tonight do in terms of the upcoming 2 weeks and building momentum towards when the playoffs begin?
Oh, this is huge. Here on Saturdays, I've been having some rough luck. I've been finding myself in the catch fence and upside down and everywhere I don't need to be. And we've been having good runs, just haven't been getting the finishes. And So we're developing a little bit of momentum, kind of moving in the right direction. I don't know exactly how their point system works. I don't know how the bonus points are divvied out for the reset. So we're just going to try to build momentum, get some top threes, spend some time up here in the booth, and get some wins.
Well, we could call this a dominating performance here tonight, nearly leading half the race. Race high 31 circuits out in front, leading that most important lap as well here, coming around to pick up your first checkered flag of Season 6 of the Shake and Bake Series. Congratulations on the great run here, Grant. We'll let you get back to your celebrating in just a moment, but first we're going to give the opportunity for Victory Lane. Thank you, sponsors, and shoutouts.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jeffrey Elliott, and Chris and the whole gang, for bringing Shake and Bake back for another season. Thank all the admins, Jeff once again, and Chris and Ken, Rodney, Breedlove, Garland Oaks, Bob Dixon, FRN. Thank you guys, Mike, Seth. Man, you guys are great together. Glad to see you here on Saturdays. Bob Dixon Factoids. I'd like to thank him for doing what he does. My teammates with XFM, my friends and family for watching, and my girlfriend Brittany.
Well, Grant Wesley, he brings it home P1 here tonight. 5th different winner on the season as he takes the checkered flag in race number 5. Congratulations on the great win here tonight, Grant, and best of luck here in these final 2 races of the regular season as you make preparations for the playoffs.
Thanks.
Grant Wesley with the victory here
User was moved
tonight.
out of your channel.
Becomes the first Dodge to go to victory lane. So it's Chevrolet 3, Toyota 1, and now Dodge. 1 victory so far here in Season 5. Looking at the finishing results here, looking amongst the top 10, 12 drivers, there's going to be a few drivers that are going to go into next week with 2 regular seasons races remaining in pretty good shape to point their way into a playoff spot. Denny Carroll, Rodney Sullins, Dennis McCarthy, Grant, who we just talked with, Chris Elliott, they all finished inside of the top 12, and they came into this race inside of the top 6 in the point stand, so they look like they're in good shape. But with 2 races left to go, no win in your in-system, completely based off of points. If you're a driver right now, Michael, that's below the cut line, maybe even down outside of the top 20, top 25, going into next week, desperation's got to start setting in, one would think.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. You want to get that win. You got to get that win. You're gonna try to force yourself to be a little bit more bold in your moves and everything. You've just got to do whatever you can to position yourself to be right there at the end.
So we saw here tonight, and it's kind of been a running theme here the last couple of weeks. We saw 2 cautions here tonight. One was a multi-car wreck. The other one involved a couple of drivers, but we saw that final pit stop take place under green. It's kind of seemed to be a running theme in most of the Super Speedway series that we've broadcasted. When we start entering into the second half of a regular season, closer to the playoffs, more emphasis is on pit road than it is the survival on the racetrack. Do you think, with drivers having that kind of sense of desperation going into these next 2 weeks, do you think we're going to continue that trend where pit road will still be the major playing point into who advances and who doesn't? Or do you think we're going to see more of the survival mentality on the racetrack itself?
It's going to be a mix of both, but pit road is where you can make it or break. It's going to make or break you, Seth, and we both know this. So the focus more is going to be all on pit road and how you get on and off.
Well, it's going to be an exciting next couple of weeks as we will wait to see who officially the 12 drivers will be that will battle it out for this season's championship in Season 6 of the Talladega Nights Shake and Bake Series. Grant Wesley becomes the most recent winner on the season, 5th different driver to go to victory lane as he takes the checkered flags here tonight. 2 regular season races to go. Will we see 2 brand new drivers go to victory lane? We will have to wait and find out. We thank you all for tuning into our coverage here tonight. Hope you all enjoyed it. We will continue this season next Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for race number 6 of Season 6. Next time you'll see us, it's tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We bring you the season opener of the brand new season of the ASR Super Sundays Super Speedway Series, as they will be under the lights getting ready to race for points 1 week removed from their fun exhibition race last week. Then we will see you Wednesday night, the Aero 88 series for Rolling Thunder Gaming. They go Super Speedway Racing at Texas World. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday night, It's the continuation of the playoffs. Race 3, the first race of the round of 8 for season 66 of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Talladega Challenge Series. And as mentioned, we'll be back with you guys here next Saturday night at 9 p.m. to continue on the Shake and Bake series for Talladega Nights. But for Michael Norman, I'm Seth Cole. Thanks for joining us here on your Saturday night as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of FRN, the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.